For all of you who listen to Submersion and own an Android device, go to the Google Play Store and download the Podcast Republic app. It's a fantastic app that allows you to get all of your favorite podcasts directly on your Android device. I personally use the app and I love it. I can search for the podcast I want to listen to, select it as a favorite, and have it just a click away. Make sure you select Submersion as a favorite so you don't miss any of our new episodes every Thursday. Again, the app is the Podcast Republic app, available on Android devices. Episode 140.
Woo!
Yeah, buddy, and we are back after Zach was just like, can't do it last week. We got him back, got the soundboard. He's got... Dude, you had a crazy situation, man.
The Snap, dude. I've been playing the Snap, Pokemon Snap. I'm getting pictures of Pokemon, getting 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, all stars.
Oh.
I'm getting it. I'm getting it. There's a lot of excitement. The cars are honking, and the phones are ringing off the hook.
Wow.
But you have to remember to. Oh, let me get that. Oh, we're good.
Yeah,
but you got to remember, it's not all about the, but it's definitely about the little things in life.
You should answer the phone like Dr. Disrespect does on his stream.
Okay, Zach, can I ask a question? So you just said Pokemon All-Stars, right? If you had to make an all-star team of Pokemons, who's your starting 5?
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow. It's actually 6, Jamie, but...
Well, no, but Jamie's hardcore. He doesn't play with 6. He ain't about that.
I'm talking about a basketball team. Who's the center?
This is... like unbelievably difficult for an opening segment in this show.
I don't know. Like Snorlax is like a good center because he's like pretty big.
For a submarine movie podcast.
I mean, you got to go with like a lot of the anthropomorphic ones, like
Who's the point guard?
False.
Machamp, Machoke, Machop.
This sounds like a very boring basketball team. A very boring segment.
They're going to be pretty slow. Those guys aren't built for speed.
No.
First off, defense, Lickitung. Slap that ball down.
Good idea. That's great. I like that.
That's a good choice.
And then maybe
you gotta have Ditto, so he pretends to be the other team and he fucks with them.
That's a good idea.
That's pretty good too.
Can you imagine, like, all of a sudden, like, it's Michael Jordan?
Yeah,
so he's got those little slits for eyes.
Have we just
they pass it to him?
Space Jam, but with Pokemon? And are we millionaires now? Did we just make $1 million?
This is it.
Poke Jam.
Zach, did you not say at the beginning that you just wish one of us came up with an idea so we could just, work on that all the time?
Quit our jobs
here it is.
and do this?
It's Space Jam Pokemon.
Space Jam, but with Pokemon. That's the elevator pitch. It's natural. Space Jam, but with Pokemon.
Yep.
They ask, like, what's your elevator speech? Oh, it's Space Jam with Pokemon.
Right.
They're like,
and Mark Cuban's like, yes, in.
Dude, very exciting stuff. Anybody been up to anything fun? Brahm's been doing beta cuck investment streaming.
Yeah, buddy.
You do a lot of unboxings, right?
Yeah, we're unboxing Strixhaven Collector's Edition right now.
Should I unbox this right here?
Yeah, what do you got?
Oh,
he's got a tool.
A Benchmade knife.
We'll call it Kyle's tool.
This is when he just like slices his hand open.
On stream, that'd have been phenomenal. It's probably against the TOS. No way.
What am I looking at?
The English port of the Japanese Pokemon trading card game 2.
Whoa! English
sent to me from Canada. Yes.
It looks like it's all still in Japanese.
No. Sorry. There's a case on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
that's awesome.
That'd be kind of hard to see. We'll see how that is.
That's awesome. I love the original.
I have played a lot of that on the 3DS, and then I was like, you know what? Because I was like, it's time to bring this to the streamers, and you're like, Kyle, this would be fun to stream, and I was like, that's my plan. That's why I got that other one as well.
The first one, the music was so iconic.
It's so good.
Yeah. I wish they would make something like that again.
Okay.
It's actually really challenging, too, because, like, most Pokemon games, whatever, you can go through, just grind and beat it. But this, you got the cards, there's chance, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, welcome to PokeCast, where we talk pretty much all things Pokemon.
Are we getting shut down by the biggest Pokemon fan on our stream team here?
Yeah.
The guy wearing the hat?
The guy wearing a Pokemon hat?
Now, Zach, if the movie we watched tonight was a Pokemon, which Pokemon would it be? Silence.
Which Pokemon?
Pelipper. It would be Pelipper, the Seahawk.
Good.
Okay.
I was going to say, is there a bird? Perhaps a
Lots
bird
of birds.
that's near
Lots
the
of
sea?
That's a seagull. Yeah.
That's a transition.
Is it?
Isn't it?
Remember,
Do
if you're prone to
something.
seizures, shut your eyes.
Dive, 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 dive.
What began as an innocent conversation among friends would soon spiral out of control and later be referred to by future generations as the eighth wonder of the modern world. Mac East Studios takes you on the journey of your lifetime as your captains, the artist formerly known as Brom, Jamie the Ointment, Kyle El Capitan, and the Gruesome Twosome present Submersion. Okay, welcome to it, the show. No more Pokemon talk. Maybe a little bit later, depending if it's appropriate.
Kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah. Can I
know.
quickly have just one interlude? I have a question. Zach,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as the Gruesome Twosome, what does that nickname now mean to you?
That's a great question, Jamie. I'd like to think of it as a young boy lost in the woods.
Nice.
But he didn't enter the woods alone. But now he is alone. And he's scared. And he hears hope. He sees the light through the trees. But the crows are around. It's the crows. And they're just, Kyle, do the crow clip. Yep. And it's just,
Wow.
yep. So this little boy wants to become a man, but he doesn't know how to because he's alone.
You get
Very
your
nice.
ass out there and you find that fucking dog.
There we go. There's something. There's something.
Anyways, sorry to steer us off. I just found it amusing and I wanted to comment on it.
All right, what is that from? I totally missed it. Then,
That was Billy Madison.
Good God.
Wait a minute.
Like
I
I'm
gotta
so
have
behind the times.
Kyle. This is you.
There we go.
Yeah, well, that's good.
I like that there's an echo in that. As if he's farting in an auditorium. Anyways.
Good Lord. All right, in that same vein,
Yeah.
now, Zach, I told you that my wife said she never saw Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore.
God. Yeah.
And then I was like, man, well, you know what? What did you say? You're like, oh, glad to hear you're single again or something. But I was like, oh, you know what? Zach always talks about The Wedding Singer, and I was like, I don't think I've ever actually seen this movie.
What?
And so we
Glad
watched
Kelsey's
it.
single again.
Yeah, seriously.
That's good.
Well, dude, we watched that, and I loved that movie. I was
Yep.
like, this is a legit good movie. I'm like, this is what I think of when I think of rom-com.
So her name's going to be Julia Gulia?
Julia.
That's funny. Why is that funny?
What's funny about
My
it?
God.
Okay, that legitimately is up there. Wedding Singer's phenomenal. I mean, I was just before we started recording, everybody, I was watching top Adam Sandler movie clips, and the clip I laughed at the most that I watched was from Wedding Singer. It's when he's singing the song "Somebody Kill Me, Please." God,
That song is so good. Dude, because he's like actually got pipes, right? You're like, oh,
yeah.
this is a legit song.
How many clips from the Grown Ups franchise was a part of that?
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I didn't see any.
I actually did some Billy Idol karaoke this past weekend.
Oh,
Did
I
you?
love karaoke. Did I ever tell you that I ran karaoke in grad school? I was like that.
Really?
Yeah. I was
Nice.
the MC for the graduate school karaoke at the graduate school bar.
What's your go-to song?
I usually open with a little David Bowie. I always ended the night with either Backstreet Boys or Bye Bye Bye. You know?
Yeah.
Wait, is that why you were singing that last week?
Well, it is one of my go-tos. I mean, really, Backstreet Boys was a staple. I also love I Believe in a Thing Called Love because I can hit a nice falsetto.
That's a hell of a song.
So I used to astound and amaze with my falsetto. Anyways, we're back off track.
Yep.
Anyone want to reel us back on track? What did we watch?
Submarine Seahawk,
Yeah.
Yeah.
1958.
You know what's interesting about 1958?
What's that?
What, Zach?
My dad was born that year.
What?
Are you serious? He's old as hell.
Then you don't want to know when my dad was born.
43.
Oh my God, no. Come on. My dad would be really old. Anyways, yep. We watched Submarine Seahawk. It stars no one that anyone would know, directed by no one that anyone would know, and no one that anyone would know would be featured in it. Anyone else have anything to say about it?
Nope. Looked very old for 1958.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, this came out the same year Run Silent, Run Deep did, so.
Oof.
I thought of that movie when we watched this.
Mm-hmm.
And yep, 83 minutes long, so I did appreciate that.
Yeah. Should we get into it?
I would love to. All right. So we open, right? And we're on a submarine. And they're basically like, what's that over there? We've got 3 torpedoes left, and we got to make the most of it because it's probably pretty close to us having to go back. And they are like lining up this ship on this submarine. And there's a guy there, and he's like a wet blanket. Everyone's like, fuck this dude. We don't like him because he's like basically treating everyone. He's like supposed to be like a captain in training or something. Like he's supposed to be kind of a guy who is in line to become a captain. And they line up this boat, and basically the XO's like, let me take a look and let me help you line it up. And the guy's like, give me a second. And he's like all stodgy. He's really like a Jamie. Sorry, bleep out my last name in that one.
Yowzers.
And he's pushing up his glasses. And he's like, I'm like a giant nerd alert. And I'm like a big old book person. And everyone's like, screw him. We don't like him. He's treating me like a baby. Right? And, but they line it up. They shoot off one of the torpedoes. It misses. Second torpedo gets trapped in the tube. And the captain in training's like, I'll take care of it. And he's like a big old wet blanket. And he goes down there and he basically helps them free this torpedo because it's timed and it's going to explode in the submarine. And they're like, we're going to die. But this guy like helps. And so he's like very, very good. What they're showing, he's very good at what he does. But everyone hates him.
And he's not like panicking or anything.
No,
he's just
very
like,
calm.
yeah.
He's not inspiring anyone. No one really is getting behind him. And yet there he is, like, saving the day, kind of. And he's kind of like, even he's like, kind of like, well, whatever. And then they shoot off another torpedo, and they sink the boat. And that's the last of the torpedoes that they have. And then they get told after it that they're heading on back to Pearl Harbor.
After we get a little weird scene here with the torpedo men, they've got this, like, doll that basically they're playing.
Right.
I don't know what you would refer to,
Smooches?
kind of like strip poker.
Yeah, it's kind of like
type
smooches.
thing. But every time they score a hit with a torpedo, they take a piece of clothing off this doll.
Yeah, and you get to keep it if you were the one that hit the target.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also this giant nerd. So the whole front of this movie is basically like nerd alert time.
Like a third of the entire movie.
Where there's this total nerd on the boat, and everyone's like, look at that nerd. And he's like,
It's total.
he's not like a submarine.
That's so funny how you're saying that.
He's not like a submarine Seahawk man, all right? Like, if anyone gets a load of this guy and learns that he's on the Seahawk, guess what they're going to say? Oh, everyone on the Seahawk must be nerds now. Because what are the two things, Zach, that people on the submarine, on the Seahawk do?
Well,
they drink.
Drink and like
and
flirt,
they
right?
fuck.
Flirt.
Yeah, they flirt. They
or
flirt
the
a whole
word.
bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dirty flirty.
Dirty
They
flirty.
drink and they have sexual relations with people. And here's this guy basically being like, I like my fiance in Wisconsin or something.
Can I cut in?
Yeah.
In? Here's I got to play the official cut in sound clip. The official cut in sound clip. Okay.
You can cut in.
That was better than I thought.
That was different than it was a few weeks ago.
That's okay. It's a new month.
Well, that wasn't official though,
This
was
is
it?
a new month.
Oh, good call.
Man, I can't even remember what I was going to say now. Oh, Jamie. I guess that maybe we could ask, hey, do you guys want a Jamie activity or a whole group activity?
I'd rather it be a whole group one, but
Okay.
Go ahead.
So everybody, don't answer immediately, but think to yourselves, if you could recast Jamie, who's the nerd? What's his name?
I actually don't know.
Okay, but we know the nerd. Everyone knows who we're talking about.
Yeah, he's
there's
a nerd. Yep.
There's this little nerd.
Right.
If you guys
weird body shape.
Pretend you're back in the 1980s and you're all like, dude, I'm gonna be the guy that remakes Submarine Seahawk. Who do you get to play the nerd? I already know my guess. I thought about it watching the movie.
I know. I
He
think
looks
you and I are
familiar
on the
to
same
me.
page.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so how do we share guesses? How do we do this?
Cyberlink.
No, Kyle, just say what is it? Let's see if you matched up. That'd be great. If you actually do match up, it's going to be awesome.
You want to match up? Should we count it down, Zach?
Do I just say it?
Jeez.
No, hold on. Do we go like 3, 2, 1, and then we say it?
Oh my God.
Do it. 3, 2, 1.
All right, Zach, you ready?
Well, I'm trying to get some really great music for it, but okay. I don't have anything good. I have nothing good.
3.
But
All
okay.
right.
2, 3.
Jamie,
3, 2, 1. Go.
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis. Oh,
Very nice.
Yeah, from Ghostbusters.
Oh.
Yeah, 100%. I saw this guy, and that's who I was thinking. Especially, I knew you were on the same page as me when you're like in the 80s. It's like, oh,
I know. I literally
100% this is Rick Moranis.
I had to look up like, okay, Ghostbusters came out then. Mick Moranis would be huge then. I'm like, it'd be Rick Moranis. You would get him. He's just like that
anyways.
small, nerdy looking guy.
Yeah. And he's like, I like my fiance in Wisconsin. I'm going to buy her a tractor. And I can't spend any money
Nancy,
because I got to get him
who happens
whatever.
to be my fiancé.
Yeah. And she's
that line.
she's like she's like built solid. Like she keeps on winning all the farm competitions with my whatever.
But like
and
in the
everyone's
men's,
like,
didn't he say men's category?
Yeah, in the
men's
category,
division.
yeah, in the men's division. And they're like, okay, well, you got to be, when we're back in Pearl, you got to be initiated. Official. By us. And he's like, okay, you're going to have to buy us all drinks and stuff. And the guy's like, I can't spend any money. So like, okay, pool our money. We got to help this dude out. Because otherwise, they're going to get a load of this dude and be like, the Seahawks lame. We don't like it anymore. They know, Zach, that there's 2 things that people on the Seahawks do.
They D and F.
Exactly. And so anyways,
yeah.
they pull all their money. They take a bunch of, I'm telling you, this is like the first third of the movie. There's not even anything else that happens really for the entire plot of the movie.
He's right. He's
not.
right, everybody.
Because they take him to the bar and they're like, he's basically like, well, I'm not really want to dance or whatever. But they get a prostitute straight up who, well, actually, I guess I don't know if that's her official profession, but they
She was
do.
very
It
friendly.
sure seems like
she
they
was
give her-
very
they-
friendly.
She does say, like, I have some bills to pay, if you don't mind. And they give her a little money, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna like woo this dude. And
Wait. She's gonna woo. Did you say?
Yeah, kind of. Pretty much what happens. He's drinking his milk all sexy. He's like, oh, what's that? Well, anyways. And so they're dancing.
Oh, man.
And what happens? He's being a giant nerd. He keeps on spilling stuff on her dress.
Yes.
So they're like, I got to go back to my apartment. And the guy who's like trying to get this guy paid and laid is like, maybe we should come along. Word. And so they go off to the apartment. He's all up in there, and the guy's like, oh, look at the time. I better get out of here. And basically leaves them alone for her to slip him alcohol.
Yeah.
Get him shitty.
Yep.
Shit face.
Dude, was it just alcohol or was it some kind of roofie? Because like it took effect like almost instantly.
Well, he's also a
was
giant nerd.
alcohol.
He was drinking
Yeah.
milk before. I think it was just gin, like straight gin.
Oh,
But
yeah, they were mixing like gin with milk.
Yeah.
God, that sounds like a
I think that's classic, actually.
sounds like a bachelor party type drink. You
Yeah,
know?
back in the
Just
day, I
gin
think they
and
did
milk.
all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whiskey and milk and all that. But anyways, he starts getting real tipsy. And in the meantime, we do see some other things going on. Like the real stodgy guy goes home and he's like, oh boy, Betsy or whoever, like, oh man, my loving wife. And she's like, oh boy, if they only knew you like I know you, like they would really like you. And he's like, oh, well, I am just not cut out to be a captain, I guess. They're just gonna fire me. And he gets a letter being like, come in front of the board of like hiring or whatever. He's like, they're really not wasting any time. Like Eeyore, like he's like a big old Eeyore over there. And he goes, oh boy, I'm Eeyore. Oh boy, I'm gonna get fired. And then the captain is basically like, terrible review for this guy. He's like an Eeyore. I hate him. And the guy's like, okay, well, I'll take your, recommendation into consideration. Whatever. But then he gets called back in and the guy's like, yeah, we're hiring. Like the guy you wanted, the XO that you wanted to take over the Seahawk is not going to get it. You're going onto the desk job, which you hate. Your XO's not even getting the job, which you hate. And the guy that you hate is getting the job, which you also hate. And the guy's like, shit. Like everything is coming up awful for me right now. And the guy comes in and is basically like, I guess I'm fired, right? And they're like, no, you're in charge now. Shit. You got the boat. Have fun. And also the XO can't even leave the boat because it's not enough time. Assemble the crew. And it's just like, shit. And
I love it. Like, I don't know if this is how it is on Pearl or what, but like people are out at the bar and just like, naval police with guns on hips or like come in, like just round up these drunk people, like get back on the sub. It's like, this is the best way.
Yeah.
Like, I guess you got to do
everyone it. Wherever they are, including at a prostitute's apartment. They like show up and they're like,
well, that guy's
Dude,
creeping the whole
detective.
time.
Oh,
he was creeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was looking through the window, man. He was looking to, see a little action because he paid for it, I guess, right? Well, he's like, I'm going to get to watch some of this.
I'll be honest. You guys heard you saw him. He was standing on the chair with his hands up at the window, right, looking through.
Yeah.
Then how did this happen?
What? Who is it?
Zach suggesting that it was his penis knocking on the door.
See, it's funny because I used to make a lot of dick jokes, which I've kind of stopped lately. And Zach, you're picking it right up. I like it.
Trying.
Yeah. So, anyways, the point is that they're assembling the crew. The dude's there, like the nerd alert. He's like ready to F, if you will, to use Zach's language.
He is just like,
you know what? I'm gonna kiss you now.
Yeah, he's like throwing caution to the wind all of a sudden, jazzed up on milk and gin.
Fiancé, forget about her.
Yeah. And is about to smooch on this lady when the naval people bust in, and they're basically like, time to go. And so they all get assembled. And the nerd alert almost fights the guy, which probably to the delight of the crew, where they're like, that's a Seahawk man right there, swinging at the MP. Let's get out of here. And they get onto the submarine. And the whole idea here is that basically that stodgy, wet blanket academic book, nose in a book guy basically gave the best hint for something that's going on. He was like a little wondering why that last boat that they targeted seemed to be out in the middle of nowhere, doing nothing and with no like accompanying or anything. And he's like, well, what's going on here? And they started to connect the dots saying, oh, wait, there's been a bunch of Japanese boats that have kind of gone missing. They're like not around anymore. And this may give us a hint to kind of targeting a region where we think these boats may be going. And they're kind of holding up for attack. So we better find out where they are and hit them real quick before they hit us. So that's why they think this academic guy going to give us the best chance on this next mission to find out where they are.
And he also doesn't seem to be entirely bloodthirsty,
right,
like the rest of the Seahawk crew, who is just like, we just want the tonnage at the bottom of the ocean. Right. We don't care about anything else.
Yeah, and it's a very sensitive mission. Like, they can't sink too many boats or the Japanese will get wind of it. So they need to just follow stuff and kind of collect the clues. And he's going to treat it like a puzzle. And he's going to be collecting the puzzle pieces. They need a puzzle piece collector rather than someone who's just going to sink any ship that they see.
Now, this would be like your dream job, right, Jamie?
That's what I'm saying. He's basically me. Like a wet blanket who solves puzzles all day and is the best.
I thought you were saying you were the Rick Moranis guy.
No. I was saying I'm this guy.
No. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, they get on the boat. Everyone's like, fuck this dude. And he's like drilling them, doing all the stuff that we see in a lot of other submarine movies, where he's like just like drills, never sinking anything. They see boats, and he's like, cool, writes it down in his little like puzzle notebook. Cool, that's nice.
Yeah.
Puts up his glasses, and then he's like, don't sink it, dive. And everyone's like, God damn it, and they don't like that at all.
Yeah, they are talking so much trash about him, and then they also, to kind of replace his role on the last voyage, they get a new academic in, but he's a real young guy.
Oh yeah, he's like the map guy, and right away, even the XO hates him. And also, this is something me and Kyle already talked about before this podcast, but they are identical. I could not tell them apart. The XO
and the
captain at this point are identical human beings.
Yeah, unreal. Like the only way you could look.
A little bit in the mouth.
I mean, even if they were on screen together, sometimes I'm like, oh, that guy's got hairier arms. It must be the captain. Yeah. And at one point, like the XO has like equally hairy arms. I'm like, well, I don't know who's who anymore. Yeah. It's just they'd have to be side by side with their hats off, and then you could kind of tell.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's
it's one of those things where they like casting nowadays would have just like made it impossible for them. They would have looked one screen test and be like, hell no, we're not doing that. Come on. Like the Winklevoss twins up in here. Like it's like we computer generated another person that's exactly the same. No way. Not going to happen. And so anyways, they're going around. This guy, they immediately, even the XO, who doesn't kind of like the captain very much, is still doing his duty. And he hates this map guy. He's like, this guy's going to be trouble. And the captain is very like lenient. He's basically like, it's okay. Just got to get his leg under him. Like all this stuff. But he is not thrilled, like really not thrilled with not sinking stuff, the map guy. And he's getting more and more and more, I don't know, nervous, and his anxiety's ratcheting up a little bit because they're not doing that. Yeah, because they're not doing what he thinks they should be doing. And he starts to get the sense that they are kind of following stuff and going to get themselves into a position where they might die. Like in his mind, it's like, we got to sink the ships or else we will die. And that keeps on like ramping up his anxiety about the fact that they are just following these ships around and tracking them rather than actually sinking them. And at the same time, the crew is also starting to grumble, except for the guy who tried to get the nerd alert paid and laid, which unfortunately that storyline's out the window. We barely hear about that nerd again. Like he doesn't show up at all. It's almost like they just needed him to get to feature length. Like they had a 45-minute movie and they were like, can we add 30 minutes of a nerd trying to get laid? And everyone's like, yeah, definitely, for sure. But
I thought he would come up again later, 100%. Like at the end of the movie.
Well, he did.
I mean, other than
he did.
But I mean,
yeah.
I'm talking like when stuff hits the fan.
Right. That he would
later.
He would be a real Seahawk man.
He would be a piece.
Yeah.
But
real Seahawk man.
Nowhere to even be seen.
But but the guy who kind of tried to get him laid is the one kind of calming everyone down. He's like, no, we got a plan here. You got to understand, we're doing something even bigger than you think. Like sinking one ship's like one thing, but I think we're doing something really, really important. So everyone just like chill and let's like be okay with us diving and getting away from boats and stuff like that. So he's keeping everything in line, but the map guy is like kind of going slowly crazy. Eventually, as time goes on and they've kind of dove and got rid of around ships and stuff like that, at one point they see something that seems pretty important, like a ship that's pretty important. And the captain's starting to connect the dots. And he's like, it's time to do it. Time to try to take out the ship because clearly it's going somewhere important. I already have connected the dots. I have some idea of where it's going. And we should probably, for the benefit of the war, actually sink the ship. And they go through the process of launching the torpedoes and stuff at it, but they miss and end up having to dive and escape the depth charges. And the map guy is like pissed. He's like, you dove too early. And everyone's else like, did you see those depth charges? They were like literally on top of the submarine. He's the only reason we're alive right now because he dove early enough that we were able to get away from the ship and barely get out of the way of the depth charges. And finally, they hunker down for a long time on the bottom of the ocean, and eventually they hear the ships go off, and everyone's like sweating, and they're like, "Thank God we like survived that." And he's able to, I think, communicate. They kind of take a risk or something, right? And they like communicate back to Pearl Harbor, And after like a bunch of time of not being in connection, eventually they narrow it down to a few islands where they've determined.
They needed to like expand their mission area, and they're like, we think something bigger is at play here than just what we've been allowed to do.
Yeah. And so they eventually it gets back to Pearl. They connect all the dots as well, and it's basically 3 different islands. And the most likely scenario is that they've holed up like a whole bunch of ships in one of the particular islands where there's a harbor that could do that kind of stuff. And they could set up the mines and the submarine net, which we haven't seen in a while, but the submarine net around it. And they're basically like, it's a go do it. They go out there, almost immediately they find like a ship, and the captain's like, whoa, not going to sink that guy. We're going to fucking follow it. And the map guy is freaking out. He's like, we're going to what? Do the what? And they're like, yes, through the mine and through the submarine net, we're just going to follow the ship. No big deal. Underneath it. And he's like, and then what? We're in a net. Thank you very much. Like, this is crazy. We're all going to die. And the captain's like, fucking whatever. We'll die for the country. And the map guy's like, die for the what? Die for the what? I'm like, no way. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. And he's like freaking out. He's basically, at this point, he's more the Jamie type character. Because I'd be like, is that a what? I didn't sign up for this. Well, technically I did. But that's okay. And so, but they follow the ship in. It works perfectly. The plan is like goddamn seamless at this point. Because they go straight through that submarine net, through those mines, following the ship. They go onto the bottom of the harbor or whatever. And they start just tracking ships. Like, they're checking them off. Boop, boop, boop. They go up real quick. They look for some ships to go back down. Go up, look for ships, go back down. Go up, look for ships, go back down. And then they, very quickly, little Morse code, back to Pearl Harbor, let everyone know. And there's an attack going on. And basically everyone's like, that's cool. So they're going to be like bombing the shit out of this place. So what about us? And basically the captain's like, hunker down, boys. We can get some missiles at us. And everyone's like, oh, shit. And the map guy is basically like, I'm the captain now. And he's like, I got a gun. And everyone's like,
I think he pretty much says it. Yeah. He says, like, I'm the captain now. Or I am your captain.
Yeah, and the XO comes up and basically, like, slaps in the face. It's like,
yeah, because he's like,
here. No way.
The thing that blew my mind, right, is like everybody else in the conning tower can clearly see what's going on. The captain, like, goes down to, I don't know, his quarters to do something, and the XO has to go assist somebody for whatever reason, and he's like, let's leave the insane guy in charge, and then he immediately is like, flood the torpedoes, we're gonna shoot them, and everybody's like, okay, and they start doing it. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and that's,
I'm like, is this how it's like, this is how it goes? It's just you follow this blindly? Like,
I don't think so.
Clearly.
I was a little surprised there was no Cobb, really, because, you know, in Crimson Tide and stuff like that, that's kind of the person that probably would have stepped in and been like, yeah, so you're like arrested now? You're actually a criminal, so no, no one's listening to you.
He shoved a guy and knocked him unconscious.
Yeah.
Because he hit his head on the side
XO.
of his...
He shoved the XO and knocked him unconscious. Yeah.
Was that the XO?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, a lot of these guys look the same. It's hard to tell.
And then he grabbed a wrench and was threatening to hit the captain with it, and the captain said, hand it over.
Dude, because he's like, I will kill you. And then he had the wrench in his hand. I'm like, oh, dude, clutch, man. We haven't had a wrench seen that prominent, especially when someone's like, I'm going to kill you with this. And you're like, ah.
And so
that's the way to do it.
Yeah. And so anyways, the guy's like, fine, I guess I'll just sit in my quarters and die. And they go down and they wait for all the stuff. He's basically the captain, like sits with them. He's like super nice. And even the XO's like, you're going to sit with that asshole? Fine. You're like way cooler than anyone else. Everyone else will get this guy thrown in jail. You're basically going to give him like a bad recommendation. But like, okay. And so he sits with the guy and is basically like, are you feeling better? As like the missiles rain about them. And eventually they survive. And they, get out. I don't think they don't even do anything special. They just kind of hunker down and wait for it, right?
Yeah, they have to. They can't escape because they say ships are going to be trying to get out of here so fast. They're going to be hitting mines. They're going to be getting bombed left and right. Like, there's no reason. Yeah. It's going to be certain death if you try to escape.
Yeah. So eventually the Americans destroy everything in there. It's like a wild success. And the submarine's able to get out and leave. And on its way back.
After, though, not that easy, though, Jamie.
I know. You got to remind me.
Remember, part of a broken ship falls down on top of the sub while they're sitting on the bottom. And then that's a whole scene, and they've got guys trapped in the forward torpedo room. And this is where I thought we were going to see that nerd alert again. I thought maybe he was going to be dead or he was going to be trapped. It's going to be some kind of situation, something like that. But it was the guy who paid the prostitute who's in there, and he's like, well, I guess, we'll just hang out. And
just don't do it. Don't do it too soon, because if you try to repair something and the ship moves or whatever, you may have done more damage than actually helped. So they do like some fancy maneuvering to knock the ship off the top of the submarine.
Yeah.
And eventually they rise up. Everything seems great. They start going back to Pearl. And on the way there, they see another ship. And they're like, boys, how about you feel about it like a torpedo? And everyone's like, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And they take out that ship. Everyone's like, nailed it. Not only are we heroes because we already destroyed a bunch of stuff, not ourselves technically, but we led everyone there. But we also still got to send off a torpedo, and no one got crushed by it, man. Which is amazing. As far as we know, from all these movies and stuff like that, you see, it feels like torpedoes are falling on people left and right. Not even a single one. Well,
especially the last one we just watched, where it was like an extremely brutal torpedo crush scene. But now they're like, oh, we got ourselves a real captain.
Yeah. And so they get back to port, and basically the ex-is like, a little too old to take my captain ship, so I think I'm just going to stay on the Seahawk. It's pretty great. And then the captain sees his wife, and it's basically like, oh, Betsy, or whoever. And it's like, oh, boy. And they smooch a whole bunch. And then the nerd alert's like, oh, shit. There's my fiance, and then he runs to her, and basically they're smooching, and she's like,
do you remember how though? He has to get up on the fence,
right? Because she's tall,
yeah.
But she was a nice looking lady.
I know, dude. When they kept saying, "Oh, she's winning all these farming competitions in the men's division," I was expecting something wildly different than what they showed us at the end. But that is Submarine Seahawk. Right. Death stalks beneath the seas, it says.
So the lady who portrayed Nancy, the fiance, I'm looking at her now, was an American model and actress. She's still alive, 82 years old.
Wow.
And was a 1959 Playmate of the Month. June 1959.
Damn.
Yeah. So there we go.
Damn.
Nerd Alert did well for himself.
So there we go. I was going to say, she's a nice looking lady. Playboy thought so too.
Wow. Jamie, it's like you got the know-how and the skills.
Is that the business we want to say? No, never mind. I'm good.
I think somebody's got a pretty big market cornered on that.
Yeah, probably. All right. And that's the end. Submarine Seahawk.
Submarine Seahawk. So, who wants to go first?
I'm going second.
I'm going
second.
I'm going
again?
third.
It's again. This happens every time. Kyle and Brom have to duke it out.
All right, man. We've been having a little thing here. I can go first here. We'll let Brom bring up the rear. Let him do his thing. I'll try to keep mine short. With this movie, like we said, the first half hour is completely dedicated to getting one sailor laid, which is
so at 12.
Kind of
move on. Next person. Oh, it's me.
Yeah. Kind of wild. And I think with this movie, I think there's the framework underneath it of a good sub movie, like that really wants to come out, but then just some of the stuff just didn't necessarily. It wasn't done wonderfully. And I mean, every time they're using the miniatures, that's fine. Like a lot of these older movies use miniatures, but every time it was so shallow. I'm like, you can clearly tell that we're in just a really shallow pool. So there is that. As you said, Captain XO, they looked literally identical. It was really hard to tell them apart. I did like how, I don't know, like we had the mission and then you saw all the guys that were just hating the captain, and we see that type of thing when you get a new guy coming in. They're like, well, he's not doing this like a Seahawk. He's not living the way that we like to do it. And he's so bad. But then they come around. And I mean, we're going to see that in a movie It's the same year as Run Silent, Run Deep, so I don't know. It's fine. It's not one that I'd say like you absolutely have to go out and watch. I should also note that this is free on Tubi TV right now. That's where I think most of us watched it, because I've been trying to get my hands on this for a really long time from the library, but there's only like a VHS copy somewhere. It might be in like Mexico or Spain or something. I think it's like Biblioteca, whatever. I don't know. I can't get my hands on it. It's like 5,000 miles away. But you watch for free on Tubi. So I don't know. It's all right. It's a return to form for a lot of stuff. Give it like a 6.
Wow. That's higher than I would have thought, actually.
Wow.
I'm going to come in here. I'm going to give it a 5. I think I would normally give something like this a lower, but I did find it somewhat unintentionally or intentionally hilarious. I can't really tell in a lot of ways. Like the beginning portion of it was one of my favorite sections of a submarine film of all time. With getting that nerd, laid in pain, I was like, yes, I'm interested in this, and I would watch an entire movie based on this. And then they went into the submarine stuff, and it's more or less a knockoff of a bunch of the stuff that was going on at the same time.
Yeah.
Not really Run Silent, Run Deep necessarily, since it was the same year, but like the Destination Tokyo and stuff like that.
Yes, that pretty much the same.
Which there's a reason why that is. I actually ended up using a lot of footage from that movie, and there's that'll be part of the trivia portion of it. But so it does kind of just seem to hit some beats, almost hitting a point where you think this person actually didn't know much about submarine warfare. They just know it from the movies. They were basically just rehashing submarine warfare stuff that had been done before in a lot of ways. And, they were taking the movies more as like the basis of what they were making in the adventure film, which isn't really the case in the 40s films, which were often being made when people were clearly closely connected to submarine warfare at that point and concurrently with World War II. So, that would be the thing. I thought the acting was fine, I guess. It's not very good. B-level movie is released as a double feature, so I think that was actually, that's part of it. These were B movies. They weren't kind of the A-level stuff, and it kind of showed. But I did have a lot of fun in the unintentional funniness of some aspects, like the captain and the XO being virtually identical human beings, and no one seeming to care or notice that was potentially a problem for the viewer. Those kind of things tickled me enough to give it a 5.
Okay. Is it my turn?
It is.
All right. Let's get right into it. With Zach. Okay. Well, so you guys have both said pretty much everything there is to be said. But I'm going to come in lower than you guys. I'm going to come in at a 4. Early, right off the bat, like, okay, so yeah, older movie, 1958 movie, black and white. Okay. But then, like, in the beginning, it wasn't too bad, right? You had the early submarine scenes. There was sub talk. They were like, down periscope. And I'm just like, fuck yeah. And, it's just the boys will be boys in the sub, right? Boys will be boys in the sub. They're talking about the pics with the chick. And then, someone, we got some quick torpedo action too. It was a great start. This was all within the first 20 minutes. I was like, okay. But then that 83-minute movie turned into like a 143-minute movie. It was long. Like
it was just actually the opposite of long, but it's okay.
It just started dragging, and I'm sitting there looking around, and I'm like, okay, because you gentlemen watched it on the other service. I used YouTube, whatever. And
maybe that had the 4-hour version of this 83-minute film.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was.
Probably it.
But I'll never watch it again. I older black and white submarine film, I'm not that into it. So let's just on that, and don't forget to
All right. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh. Did you give a score? What was the score?
A 4.
4. Okay.
You guys said it. Uninspired. I felt like this was the cheap version of a lot of the great films that we've watched, even from the same era. If you want a better submarine combat and action film with similar sort of, infiltrating, a Japanese harbor, all of the hallmarks there, watch Destination Tokyo. It's a much better version of that. If you want some of the political and fit for duty, ethical conundrums and challenges and all of that sort of element of it, I would watch something like Torpedo Run.
I'm remembering now that you're saying the names, and I just remember. I'm like, oh, that's so good. I like that.
God, Torpedo Run is so good.
Yeah, and again, similar era, just much better versions of what we got here. They kind of mashed a few of those different themes into this one, but none of them were done particularly well. I think Jamie was right. I think the most unique and entertaining part of this was trying to get the milquetoast character laid. That was pretty funny. I liked the actress. I thought she was charming and attractive and fun. Had good chemistry on screen.
Good point.
That was just the best part of the movie. Everything else was just really overdone and half-baked. And I'm going to give it a 4 as well to match Zach there.
It's interesting. She didn't do too much, the woman.
Yeah, it surprised me. I thought she was a pretty actress. She could almost had a timeless look. You could pluck her out and throw her in something today.
Yeah, I think she was she Maisie?
Yes,
I think she was Maisie.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, unfortunately, it seems like she died at the age of 36. Not sure why, but
I read car accident.
Yeah, car accident. Yep.
She got into real estate, got out of acting and into real estate.
Mm-hmm. Anywho, do we have Zach? Do we have a love it or hate it?
You tell me when, baby booze.
When?
Yeah, now.
Yes. I love it. No. I hate it.
Okay, doke. This week on Love It, Hate It, we've got a love it and a hate it that's just going to blow your socks off. I'm talking crazy level shenanigans, people.
Now we're talking.
It's going to get crazy. The question is, which one y'all want to hear first?
Let's do hate it first.
What was that?
It was a new follow.
Thank you for the follow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There was a new follow.
I forgot I had those sound effects up.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, wait. I was like, what is this new
I thought that was
clip?
one of your sound effects there for a second.
Well, see, I thought you were playing something for hate it, like the individualized hate it
Right,
section.
yeah.
And I'm like,
No,
wow.
I don't have
Let's
an
get into hate it.
individualized
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks. That's amazing. Wow. Hate it. Okay, here we go. This comes from Gary, 1792, from January 2010. Best, you said hate it, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We kind of got derailed. We're like, what was that noise?
It's crazy. Hate it. Best scene while in a coma. Oh, Lord, this is a bad movie. I was in the hospital awaiting gallbladder surgery when I first saw this piece of crud. The best thing I can say is that it made me look forward to the surgery. A lousy storyline and awful dialogue. As an example, when the sub is ordered out to sea for a difficult mission, one of the sub command officers says to an admiral, "I don't like it." The admiral responds, "Talk to the man who invented war." I almost choked on my red Jell-O. There is a whole load of very familiar stock footage in this thing. Normally, I've got no problem with that. But Did they have to use everything they could get their hands on? I will give them credit for economy, though. I think I counted a total of 9 sailors on this boat, including the captain. Every time the scene cut away from the bridge and showed the crew, it was the same 5 guys. Pretty funny. If you happen to see this film is coming on, please miss it. Go to Europe if you have to. Just miss it.
I'm not sure what channels you're actually watching to find this movie, like randomly playing, but that's okay.
Yeah. Now, dude, I'll say that could have been the same, like 9 guys on the ship the whole or the boat the whole time. I have no idea. They all looked the same.
I think it probably was. It seemed like it was a very tiny set where everyone was just like crowded around every time, be like, oh boy.
So that's all right. So we were thinking, all these people in the 50s, they all just got, it's like, this is my new haircut. All my boys coming out, they got the same cut and all that type of stuff, but
Exactly.
They're actually just the same guy.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So that was Hate It. So that means it has to be time for
Love It.
Love It. Whoops. Sorry, minimize the window. All right.
And
Love It.
no new follower for Love It, unfortunately.
Ooh. No, I did. Okay. Love It was a little, I'll be honest, harder to find for this movie. But nonetheless, we've got one, Blast from the Past, March 19th, 2015. A creative masterpiece. This film does a masterful job balancing between the realities of war and the lighter side of service. This film does lighter side of servicemen on liberties. My bad. Servicemen on liberties. It echoes the war films of the 1940s in a most enchanting way. It's an American international picture, but it truly has the quality of a big budget MGM film. To me, even the way the film was edited was outstanding. Ronald Sinclair did such a marvelous job of taking the scenes of the tight spaces of a submarine and editing them in such a way that the audience doesn't feel claustrophobic. This is a must-watch for all fans of war dramas.
Wow. Interesting shout out to the editor, Ronald Sinclair.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah, makes you a lot of things. We listen to these Love It and Hate It every week, and we don't really ever say too much about them, but it is the the thing that finds its way.
Yep. Life.
One less follower.
Here we go. Here we go.
Whoa.
We gotta play.
We got another one.
Wait. We got something.
Thank you.
Wait.
How many bots are there? Is it just as many bots as possible? Is that kind of how it works?
You got any more Russian bots, or we see that thing that says "Pay for followers, make you rich"? We'll do it.
We'll do it.
Yeah,
I
had that on my stream the other night.
And you immediately like, yes. How do I get you my money?
Yes,
as soon as I
will
can.
pay for followers.
That's why you're selling crypto. I know it. That's why you're doing it.
Anyway,
Gotta be able to afford those followers, those bots.
We ready for some trivia?
Yeah.
All right. There's really only one source of trivia for Submarine Seahawk. That is a book called Eye on Science Fiction, where Alex Gordon, the producer of this film, gave an extended interview. And you might think, science fiction? Nothing science fiction about this film. That nerd alert was real to life. That's true. But he was also the producer of Atomic Submarine. And this was the movie just prior to that. And so that's what they're kind of talking about. So basically, the interview talks about how they made Submarine Seahawk, and the only way it was possible was through his brother, Richard Gordon, who was a producer as well. And he had a connection to 7 Arts. And they were able to obtain stock footage from 2 movies, Destination Tokyo and Air Force, both made in 1943. And he said, spectacular footage. And he said that they were able to put that in there and get some, pretty good reviews based on the visuals of Submarine Seahawk made on the cheap. So it made it look much bigger than it actually was. Anyways, he thought that went pretty well after Submarine Seahawk came out. So let's try another submarine picture. And they had just started a new company called Gorham Productions, and they thought they'd do 2 projects, the Beetle and Submarine Seahawk. And unfortunately, it basically severed his connections with AIP, which made this movie in, starting the next one. And so they weren't actually able to put together the Beetle. And instead, which would have been like a disaster film, so they only made Atomic Submarine, which we have not watched for this podcast. I guess we'll have to.
Not
right?
yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. That was this basically led directly into that because of the success of Submarine Seahawk and how they were able to make it. They actually severed the ties with their production company, started their own production company, and made Atomic Submarine.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's really the main thing there. Do you want to hit the Phantom Zone real quick?
Engage the Phantom.
Phantoms engaged, sir.
Love his voice. Miss it.
So this is a
We could rewatch
Teru
that movie.
Shimada classic because I have mentioned this one in the past. Most notably, Incredible Mr. Limpet. That was used as part of the Incredible Mr. Limpet connection to Phantom. In that one, there was Atomic Submarine actually had several people that also were in this, but included Paul Maxwell, who played the XO, Bill Hallahan, and he was also in Madam Sin. And we have controversially used Robert Wagner, noted accused murderer. Is he like an official murderer? He's just still an accused murderer, right? Robert
I
Wagner.
do not know.
And he was
How
in
old is he at this point?
I don't know. Pretty old.
It's really old.
And he was in Gold Member. In Gold Member as well. And we've done that one before. But in that one, I kind of note, like, we don't support murder, right? Unless, have you changed opinions? Don't support murder, right?
No murder.
And so we changed that one, went instead through Burt Kwok, who played a scarred operator in Madam Sin, go straight to You Only Live Twice. And that starred Teru Shimada, which we were able to use. So, yeah, I guess at that point, I was no longer a strong supporter of an accused murderer. So
He's a suspected murderer.
Not even accused? Just
Not accused.
Suspected.
Interesting.
Right. Well, one person who's not a murderer, for sure, is Ed Harris, unless he murders the dreams of other actors because of how good he is and how many roles he takes in the end. Obviously, he was not alive, or he was alive probably, but he wasn't like an actor yet when Submarine Seahawk came around. But he was an actor when they were going to remake Submarine Seahawk. But it ended up falling through. Guys, can you guess why it may have fallen through in the end?
Did they were trying to get Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson on the sub?
No.
Submarine Seahawks?
Terrible guess.
Come on.
Everyone else.
Was it going to be a
Yeah,
was it going to be a porno, Jamie? Is that it?
I don't think they
What's
were
that?
able.
Well, he demanded to play the titular Submarine Seahawk. He was like, you know what a submarine likes to do? DNF. And Ed Harris, I should be the submarine. And they basically were like, yes, we are interested in that. But the amount of money it would take for him to do the motion capture for it, they decided it wasn't worth it, and they ended up folding the project instead.
Where would the snorkel come up?
Right, you're saying if it was going to F in the situation, or
well,
about
if
the
he was
DA?
going to be, if it's going to be motion capture, what's the periscope?
The periscope would be. Oh, no, I think the snorkel is the one you're more interested in. Anyways. And you guys want to do some trivia?
Yeah.
And this one, occasionally I actually do ones that are, fairly relevant to what we actually do on this podcast. This one's called Military Matters. So you guys best get ready because these are actually some hard trivia about military matters.
Well, it's really weird because we usually do insanely well on all of these. So.
Right. So 400, 800, 1200, 1600, 2000. And who rated it the lowest?
Zach and
and
Brown
I.
both tied with a 4.
I choose Zach. because I like you better. Okay. But Zach, which one do you want?
Give me. Surprise me.
I'm going to give you 1200 right in the middle.
Yes.
The in WW2, the Germans mounted redesigned 88 millimeter anti-aircraft guns on the Tiger I version of this weapon. In World War II, the Germans mounted redesigned 88 millimeter anti-aircraft guns on the Tiger I version of this weapon.
On the Tiger I, is the weapon of a tank?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Wow.
Very good. All right, Brom, you're up next. 400, 800, 1600, 2000.
400.
400. This service branch's annual marathon starts and ends at a memorial depicting the Iwo Jima flag raising. This service branch's annual marathon starts and ends at a memorial depicting the Iwo Jima flag raising. There's actually 2 hints here. Or 2 clues, I should say.
I guess the U.S. Army.
It is not. Anyone else have a guess?
Buzz.
Kyle, what is it?
The U.S. Air Force.
Incorrect. Not true. Both of you were wrong. Zach, do you have a guess or you want to leave it pat?
Can you read me the question again? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just going to say the answer. You choose not to
gotta
answer,
be
and that's fine. It's
the
the Marines.
Navy?
It's the Marines. So
Dang it!
there was 2 hints
That's
there.
my first.
The Marines, the marathon in Washington, D.C. is the Marines marathon. And Iwo Jima, I think, is probably a hint as well, having to do with the Marines having raised that flag, I guess.
We're the worst.
I was thinking
All right.
that was the Army.
Kyle, 800, 1600, 2000.
800, please.
The Navy Seahawk has many roles, including anti-submarine warfare, using sonar buoys to find the subs and these tubular weapons to destroy them.
What are torpedoes?
Torpedoes, it's true. 800, very good.
Oh, my God.
Seems like only one person here hasn't got an answer correct. All right. We're going to start doing
so
buzzing.
mean.
We're going to start buzzing in for 1600. One of the Thunderbird's standing engagements is an air show for the commencement of this Colorado Springs location.
Oh, my God.
One of the Thunderbird's standing engagements is an air show for the commencement of this Colorado Springs location.
Buzz, buzz, buzz.
Kyle, what you got?
What's the Air Force Academy?
It is true.
Wow.
Very
I was
nice.
going to say, dude, I was there. Like, what is it?
And then 2000. This is a fun one because it's like a show. Like you might know it because of the show. But an Army Corps that provides legal assistance, JAG, stands for this. What does JAG stand for, guys?
Just another guy. Jag.
I didn't know it.
Oh, boy.
You guys did actually way better than I would have thought on this. I would have been terrible at this.
Judicial.
What's that?
Judicial? Something. Judicial, is that the first one?
Close. Judge. Judge is the first
Justice. Oh, judge.
Judge. Attorney General.
one. No. And that's the thing. It's going to get it wrong multiple times. It's Judge Advocate General.
Oh.
So it's always like a little off from what you
seriously?
think it might be. Like you've been like, oh, Justice Attorney General. Nope. Judge Advocate General.
Wow.
And that, I believe, is it.
Who won? If we could just remember that. Who won?
I do believe Kyle probably won, yeah.
Okay. Hey,
That was
you.
perfectly timed.
That was very well timed.
Wonderful. All
By
right.
that token, I feel like Zach won.
He might have, yeah. I win the battle, but who wins the war? The fart guy.
I was just tired of winning so much. Just wanted to take a week off.
It's subs world wide. Okay, so in continuing with some other subs worldwide, I don't know, I'm kind of blending the news and subs. This is actually a subs worldwide article. sent to me by one of our fans on Instagram. Thank you, Mr. Carpino, for sending this. A lot of people during the pandemic have been doing different things. Some people have been baking bread. Some people have been knitting. Others have been investing heavily in cryptocurrencies, hedging their entire children's futures on it. Others have been playing Pokemon Snap or whatever. Doesn't matter. So an article by thehill.com written on April 29th, 2021 by Jenna Romaine, titled Man Builds His Own Submarine as Pandemic Project and Dives to the Bottom of Lake. So this is pretty cool. Sometimes we get some cool articles. If you guys ever have them, please send them to us. We love reading about them. We can't find possibly everything. But yes, a man named Hank Pronk out of British Columbia, Canada, has built his own submarine that he took down to the bottom of the lake. He's got a video on it. It's pretty incredible. The lakes out there look amazing because there's just massive mountain ranges and stuff. But it's pretty small. He can fit it on the bed of a trailer and back it into a lake. And this thing runs off of golf cart batteries. And he dives, moves it all around, can have air for up to 72 hours, and he has an escape hatch in there in case anything goes bad. It's also kind of cool because where he's sitting, it is like entirely, I don't know if it's acrylic or what the material is, but you can see through it. So he's got really good visibility while he's underwater. And one of the shocking things here is he did not finish high school. He runs a house moving business, and basically he said that he wanted to build his own submarine. And so when the internet came around, he's just like, well, I think his exact quote was, I just researched the hell out of everything. So he's just been sitting there doing it. It was a pet project for a long time, and then finally the pandemic gave him enough time. Was able to complete it. He got the thing launched and is sailing it around in some Canadian lakes. Pretty cool. We posted the article on Twitter, but if you need it, let us know. And again, you find any other articles, please let us know. We find them fascinating. So thank you for sending that in. Much appreciated.
If you think he wanted to hear one thing that we could make, that could just bring a smile to his face, what would that be?
I'm not sure, but I bet you have it on your soundboard.
Ooh, but what do you guys think? What do you think he would want?
There it is.
What the hell is even that?
Is that on the soundboard?
Ooh, hang on.
You got Daddy
There it is. There it is.
That always brings a smile to my face.
What the hell is even that? Hell is even that? Hell is even that? Hell is even that?
Okay.
That sounds like the start of a remix song you're going to make or something.
I saw a video of what is it? African gray parrot? No, it was a cockatoo. It was a cockatoo that was just furiously and angrily just saying, "What the fuck?" over and over again. It was great. That would be a good sound clip for your soundboard.
I like that.
This is what the internet does.
I feel like it's nice
Just
and
good
versatile.
stuff.
All right. Brom, I think you're up.
Okay. I'm waiting on Kyle.
Kyle. Whisper until he does it.
You gotta say the thing you always say.
Give it to me. Tube 3 ready to fire, sir.
Commence the countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give it to me.
All right.
Hey guys, real
Perfect.
quick. Look, may the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. Speaking of May 4th, this upcoming weekend, did you guys get something for your mothers? Because it is Mother's Day.
I got a card. Sent it off today.
Oh, wow. A card. Good one.
Ooh. Wow, do you even like your mom, Jamie? Good
Yeah,
God.
exactly. I get my mom impatiens every year to plant outside, but she
You
got
get her
them all
something
this
to
year.
do work on.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's what
here's
she
this.
wants, though.
Go dig a hole. Put this in the ground.
Yeah, she got them all though this year. This is the first year in probably 12, 13 years, something like that I will not be getting her impatiens for Mother's Day. So I'm like, what can I get her? I needed ideas, and boy, do I have a great countdown for you guys that might be in the same boat. These are the top phones that you can get for your mother for Mother's Day, in case she needs a cellular device. This comes from A Place for Moms Senior Living Community.
Oh,
Yes.
perfect. We're back.
And articles by Claire Samuels with A Place for Mom. So the 12 best, I'm not going to give you all 12. I'm going to give you a few of them here.
Yeah, please don't.
Some of my favorites for the best phones for your senior mothers out there.
So you're saying phones, not foams.
Phones.
Wait, what is it? Is it phones?
Foams.
Phones. Bees?
Bees?
Phone.
But phone like a talking phone.
A phone, yeah.
A talking foam.
Like a foam party.
Don't say foam.
does-
It's phone.
Does it sound like I
Oh.
say foam?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Like, you know how like when you're at the ocean, sometimes you'll see sea phone.
Right.
Yeah, sea foam.
Kyle,
Sea foam.
No, he's being an asshole. And you're doing a good job.
I'm just very tired, so I'm probably just not enunciating as well as I usually do.
No, it wasn't you, Ben. It was Kyle.
Okay. Well, the first one I want to share with you guys out there is the Great Call Lively Flip. If you think your mom is sort of at that speed still where she might just need a clamshell style phone, well, check out the Great Call Lively Flip. It's got a 12-hour battery life while on a call, so 12-hour call time, I should say. Fantastic.
Wow, what's the standby on that? Like 6 weeks?
Weeks in standby. It
crazy.
says 16 gigabytes of storage, which is a lot for a flip phone. Thousands of memories can be made and captured on that phone's camera. And it has built-in protection against interference from hearing aids. So
That's good. So are they
That's the great
is
That's it. I
this now a
thought we'd never
sponsor?
have to have.
Wait, I'm confused. Is the phone a sponsor of the podcast
this is
now, or
this is not
Place for
hashtag
Moms?
sponsored.
Is Place for
Neither.
Moms? Really?
This is free.
Okay, wow.
This is free content.
Do hearing aid companies protest that phone?
No, I think they like
dude,
it. Don't they?
Quit throwing
wouldn't-
shade at us, bro.
No, wouldn't they like it because it's not going to get interfered with? Like, it's
Oh,
good.
yeah,
it's
I
it's
guess.
good for both.
Sorry, I thought it was anti-hearing aid.
Ben, the way you did that makes me want to go buy up one of their phones. Like, that was just amazing.
Thousands of
Well,
memories.
be sure to
whatever
use
you
our
said.
affiliate link on Verizon. It's verizon.com/Mackie Studios.
That's not a real thing. No one go to that.
I'm going to try it right now and see what happens.
Get a 404 error.
Verizon.com.
That page does not exist.
What's the next one?
Oops, the page you're looking for is no longer available.
Oh, it was available though. They're admitting it. They're admitting
It's
it was
bad
available.
timing.
They
we
probably
know.
started working on it the moment they heard this countdown start, and then they're like, this guy's
Yeah, this guy sucks.
a little too tongue-in-cheek. I don't like the cut of his jib, and they took it down. Next one's the Great Call Jitterbug Smart 2. So this, if you feel your mom is ready for a smartphone, here you go. It is built as the simplest smartphone ever, with a modern and user-friendly design, great camera, internet, video streaming capabilities. Battery lasts up to 17 days on standby or 12 hours in use. Fantastic battery life there. Has 5-star emergency services. And, just you can rest assured that your mom's in good hands with the Great Call Jitterbug Smart 2. Only $149.99, by the way.
That's pretty good.
Seriously? What the heck those new iPhones cost, man? Like over $1,000.
$1,200.
$1,200? I could get
Got it right there.
Close to 10 jitterbugs.
I was wearing this around. I wear it like a status symbol. I put it in my breast pocket with the camera sticking
should.
out so everyone knows that I got a Pro Max 12. Oh, look at that. So does Zach.
Wow. Rich boys.
Yeah, boy.
Dog
got like
those
an old
stimmies.
Got this.
Dude, I've got an old phone.
Well,
I ain't upgrading.
maybe, Kyle, you need to upgrade to one of these.
Jitterbug.
Yeah, dude, tell me,
If
what
you're,
should I get
if
next?
you're struggling to read the screen, maybe you might check out the Snap Phone Easy 4G, Kyle.
Ooh,
It's got
sounds
4G
nice.
LTE, Wi-Fi calling, and Bluetooth compatibility.
Nice.
Has the amenities of a smartphone and an easy-to-use device with standard weather, email, and Facebook apps. And get this, if you're feeling a little old-fashioned, your mom definitely is. It's got traditional FM radio compatibility and an SOS emergency programming.
Wow.
Oh, dude, now we're talking. This. All right, is that spelled SANPFON?
Yes.
Snap phone? I'm
Yep.
looking at him now.
Snap Phone Easy 4G. And the last one I want to call attention to, if they're ready to go high tech, get your mom the Samsung Galaxy S20. Of the contemporary fare, this is a very well. They're all real phones, but this is a real contender in the smartphone market because this one has a very nice easy mode for those that need to kind of ease into the smartphone world. It's got a built-in stabilizer for the camera if your mom's a little jittery, That's probably really inappropriate.
I don't like that one at all.
This is what it's like.
I took a risk, and
Yeah, you did.
I regret it. At least Jamie didn't mention his full name on this episode or anything like that.
I did.
But large clear screen makes reading and texting easy without sacrificing picture quality, and only $500, which is a great price again compared to the likes of the Apple line. So. The Samsung Galaxy S20. So those are some great options for you guys out there that need to find a gift for mom this Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all those moms listening out there. I know we got several of them. Has any of your moms listened to an episode of Submersion?
Thank God, no. But my aunt and uncle actually listen to it frequently. And their only comment,
I think maybe
the only comment is that I always sound like I'm the only one who watched the movie.
That's awesome. That's great.
Oh, man.
I
think my parents may have, but they were like, oh, there's a lot of, penis jokes. And I was like, well, that's Jamie. That's his own.
And I said I
episode.
really cranked it down.
Yeah.
It's a natural progression. It only takes me 120 episodes to really burn through a joke.
There's like a pre-100 Jamie, and then there's a post-100 Jamie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, I get
I'm
over
gonna change-
the recurring jokes. Not all of them,
Eventually.
but some of them.
No.
My mom
Is your
listened to
mom?
the Commander Andy Benford interview. That was the only one she's listened to.
Oh, okay. She didn't listen to episode 69. It's a shame.
She did not. Although
Very
she might
informative.
know. I think she knows about it. I think I told her about it.
She's disgusted.
I'm pretty.
I've got a good friendship with my mom.
I'm pretty sure neither of my parents have listened to this whatsoever. So
I played it
Wow.
part of it for
they're
them
better
at the lake house. at
Did
one
you?
point.
Better.
Yeah, I do
Oh,
remember
that's too
that.
funny. Dude, now, speaking about those phones, whatever, and there's a lot of like those flip phones on there. How do you guys think it's going to go when we try to explain to younger generations, and I might even sound like a boomer when I say this, about how good we used to be texting with T9? You remember that?
Oh yeah.
Dude, do you even
All
know
over
what
the
that
place.
is, Jamie?
Yeah. I know what that is.
Dude, it was just like, and you were just like, okay, got it.
I do remember.
Like,
On this
you
tiny
could be
little flip phone.
you could be so fast with it. You could sit there and do it one hand.
Could you
So I remember
imagine
a lot of times-
if that technology was still here and that was the dominant way to do it? How many people would get? Well, what would you call this, Ben? How would you describe this?
Nintendo thumb? Do you guys know what that is?
Oh, harking to his earlier joke.
I don't.
What?
What?
Never mind.
I think it's Zach.
Are you talking
Hands
like,
moving all around.
Oh, jittery.
jittery.
Think jittery.
Yeah, yeah.
Jittery.
I see.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
That'd be
the-
hard.
It's a good one.
I can.
Still not working for us.
That's a perfect segue into the final category of the night.
Zach Facts, it's Zach Facts. When you're going down, get some Zach Facts when you're going down.
All right. Zach Facts, it is. Let's have hopefully none of these, but lots of these. All right.
Ooh, now we're talking.
Did you get-
What is that supposed to be? Is that supposed to be bottle rockets?
I think so.
It's called Firework.
Oh, okay. All right, what's the over-under on this guy?
You tell me.
One?
Yeah, one.
I'm gonna go over under 4.5.
Oh boy.
Under.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under too.
Under.
I'm gonna go over.
Okie dokie smokies. Let's get to it. Okay. Fact number 1. Out of the 25,000 people that saw this movie, not one of them has the name Bill.
Whoa. That is an
Wow.
amazing fact.
What about
That is
William?
outrageous.
Not recorded.
So probably.
They only did nicknames.
Mm.
I mean, back then, almost, I don't think anyone went by their actual name. They all had nicknames, like Chuck or Bill. It was actually
Shady
required by
Pete.
law. You weren't allowed to go by your actual name.
What would our
Crazy.
names be?
Well, I have one. Jamie.
Ringo.
No, but your nickname, Jamie.
Jamie. It's my nickname.
No, that's your nickname? You haven't told us your real name?
My real name is Jameson. Not true. It's James. Sorry.
I wish it was. Wouldn't that be great?
Kyle, is
let us
there
all
a
down.
nickname for Kyle other than
Kiel?
K-Town Delight?
What did you call me?
K-Town
K-Town
Delight?
Delight?
Yeah.
I like that, actually. That's pretty
Okay,
good.
Perfect. All right.
No, most of the time, if like a nickname for Kyle, it's like douchebag or tool
Right.
or
Drywall
piece of
Smasher
trash.
3000.
drywall smasher, monster chugger, 69, those types of names. So
Yeah. In 1958, I think that's probably the most prominent one, right? Monster Trucker 69.
Do you think people were 69 back in the day?
what do you think gamer tags would have been like in the 50s?
That's actually a good shtick. We should start doing that more.
That is.
You got to think on that.
That's good.
Ice Cream Social Lover 12.
Oh, yeah, Brom, countdown, future countdown. Do best 50s gamer tags.
Okay. I gotta record that.
I like that topic. That's a good one. Okay.
All right, Zach.
Fact number 2. During an interview, it was said that the hanging doll from Submarine Seahawk was an inspiration for Chucky to accept the role of Chucky in the movie Chucky.
That's not. Is that the name of it?
Eventually, there's one called Chucky.
Ah.
Like it was,
That's
it
awesome.
was Child's Play, but this is Chucky's later.
You guys
wanted
ever
to
seen
be
Child's
done
Play?
with?
No,
I haven't either.
Brom, have you seen Child's Play?
Bits and pieces, but no.
They're fun.
okay.
So if Jamie's seen them, they must not be great. We'll say that.
They're definitely more like kind of fantasy than you might think. Like someone gets struck by lightning and turned into the doll via voodoo.
Wait, that's for real?
Yeah, that's like even the
Why are
original.
we
like,
not-
They're already. I mean, off the sorry, that would have been offensive. They're already off the grid when it comes to the plot almost immediately with that one.
Why are we not watching those right now? Now, do these
No
get to
submarines.
like? Do these get to like Leprechaun level, like Leprechaun 4 in space
No,
level?
actually, it's weird. They actually get kind of better as time goes on because they become much more niche and like for the fans. And so some of them are actually pretty well regarded, like Seed of Chucky and Bride of Chucky and stuff. Yeah, like very tongue in cheek pretty quickly. Anyways, Zach.
Struck by lightning.
You guys are too good. All right. Fact number 3. The next straight to internet movie sequel from this movie is coming out soon, and it's called Submarine Seahawk.
That's what I was waiting for.
Straight to Pornhub.
Yeah,
It's a short film.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
6 minutes and 19 seconds.
No stamina.
You know.
Oh, why is it 19 seconds? Why?
It's 619. Fact number 4. Fact number 4. Here's a fact. Here's a fact. All the male actors in the movie had different dads, but not all had different moms.
Oh, wow. Some half siblings amongst them.
You know it.
Oh. Weird sound effect for that, but okay.
Not really, man. Not when you think of dockside bars.
What do you think of with dockside bars, Kyle?
Half siblings, obviously.
I think. You remember those G.I. Joe videos from back in the day? You remember those?
G.I. Joe.
Yeah. There was one where somebody's like, "My God, Timmy, you look so familiar," or whatever. He's like, "Does your mom hang out at dockside bars?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Do you like baseball?" It's like, what the hell is this?
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Which
I'll have to
characters
find
doing
it,
that?
man. Those movies or clips are
Movies.
so good. Not movies.
Feature-length films.
If they had a full-length film, I would watch that for those overdubs.
I'm a
It was so good.
computer.
Stop all the downloading, man. Know much about computers, man.
Last one, there's a penis pump.
Speaking of last one, Zach, are you up to the last one yet?
Yeah, let's do it.
The door.
Fucking love it. Okay. But that was it. That was 4.
That's the end?
No, I'm just joking. There's one more. There's one more.
Yes, I win.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh.
You just making it up.
No, this is definitely not made up. This is a true to the full percent with sense in the sentence. This is true.
Right.
The movie was actually shot in color, but someone spilled the black and white paint all over the film.
That sounds like some dubious technology.
Ooh.
So like Pleasantville? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, just like Pleasantville with Tobey Maguire.
Right.
I'll sometimes give a embarrassing story at the end of these episodes. You guys remember my Clarissa Explains It All story, I'm sure. I thought the world, because of the movie Pleasantville came out when I was a child, I thought the world used to be black and white until like the 1950s.
Seriously. How old were you? Like 14?
At least, but it's neither here nor there.
When did that
It's not
come
about
out?
how old I am.
No, it's just about the level of intelligence.
I'm going to say something here.
I was arguably too old, but
I never believed that.
Me neither.
It came out in 98, Brom, so
yep, that sounds about
you
right.
could be a young little man.
So what do you think about paintings? You think they were just like kind of making it up?
I was an 8-year-old just slinging the football around on the playground. unwrapping Pokemon cards, smashing puss, just typical 8-year-old kid.
They're like, Leonardo da Vinci was a goddamn genius. Did you see the Mona Lisa? The world
I did not
was
have time to think
all
about
black and white.
What did paintings look like?
And yet he painted her great. Either that or did someone repaint that? I don't even know.
Jamie, don't try to get into an 8-year-old's head. Borderline inappropriate.
The cave
Pork chop
paintings.
sandwiches.
Cave paintings. You're like, those cavemen, geniuses, they got the colors of the horses pretty much accurate, even though it was black and white. Or was it not black and white before a certain time? Who's to say? I mean,
Jamie, I'm not going to apologize for being an 8-year-old child at one point in my life.
I'm looking to fight an 8-year-old child.
True. You were like, those blue stars up there, they weren't blue before, even though it's just wavelengths of light coming into my eyeballs, right?
Jamie loved this story.
Problem's like, I'm never going to tell another one of these again.
It just doesn't
Usually you
make any
guys
sense.
laugh with me, not at me. But Jamie's been kind of
That's true. Actually, today,
kind of
I would say
addictive.
today, not so nice to you. I'm sorry. Next time I'm going to be super nice to you. I'll be really mean to Zach.
Okay.
That's good. I need to be taken down.
Thank you for listening to Submersion. Don't forget to subscribe for new episodes every Thursday. If you like what you heard, please leave us a rating wherever you listen. Want to interact with us? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We also love to get messages from all of you. If you have a suggestion, a comment, or just anything you'd like to share, please email us at macestudios@gmail.com.